All right, so we are live now. So anyway, welcome, Hare Krishna. So on this auspicious day, on the May 9th, so we gathered here to discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam, all right? Organized by this ISKCON Ipoh Bhakti Yoga Center, okay? Bhakti Yoga Namahat Center. So I would like to take pleasure to welcome everyone, okay? So before we start, as usual, let's do our invocation prayer. Okay, this invocation prayer is to invoke the auspiciousness before we start. Okay, so just visualize yourself that you have Srila Prabhupada in front of you and Guru Parambara and also Krishna. Just from your heart, you offer a beautiful flower, maybe a rose or something like that, virtually while we recite this mantra. If you know how to recite this mantra, you can also join me. Okay. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutta Padakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swamiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagra Gramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasa Chiristarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Vidaita Ekripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignanadaine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namustate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasitanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupai Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumestam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatha Yate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratase Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jaitam Suratau Pangur Mama Manda Matirgati Mat Sarvasva Padam Bhoja Radha Madana Mohanau Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanastu Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtalibi Sevya Manosmarami Sriman Rasara Sarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karshan Venur Svanir Gopir Gopinata Yasri Istuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya yato anvayat gitarascharte swabhijnaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavihe Muhyanti Yat Surayah Tejo Vari Mridamyata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargamrsha Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna. So welcome Parikshit Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Happy to see you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, so let's look at this. Where is it? Watching screen. PowerPoint. Why my screen sharing? Oh, okay, basic. All right. Okay, let's. Okay, can you see the screen? Okay, praise to the Bhagavatam. Okay, Sarva Sastra Dipiyusa, Sarva Vedeka Satpala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, Sarva Lokeka Drikprada, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvanto Ditaditya, Sri Krishna Parivartita. Will I read the translation? Hare Krishna. Harasi Mataji, you usually read. What happened?
Sir, I didn't get the.
Oh, you can't see the.
Previous thing.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't see.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. How about now? Can you see?
No, not. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna, sir.
Krishna.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, you are the most prominent transcendental fruit of the Vedas and are enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusion. You grant spiritual vision to all people of the world and are the very life breath of the Vaishnava devotee. O Lord, you are the sun which has risen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, you are Lord Krishna who has returned among us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice. Paramananda Pataya Prema Varsyaksarayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostume. Next. Come on. Anyone? Maybe Mataji can go on reading. Harasi Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah,
O Srimad.
Okay, Arya.
Okay. Myself, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisance upon you. By the recitation, one attain transcendental bliss, because your syllabus shows down pure love of God. You are to be served by everyone, always, for you are incarnation of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, sir.
Mat Eka Bandhu Mat Sangin, Mat Guru Man Mahadana, Man Nistaraka Mat Bhakya, Mat Ananda Namostute. Maybe you can continue, Mataji.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, companion and teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer respectful obeisance unto you.
Asadu Saduta Dayinan Nati Chochata Kara Anamuncha Kadachin Mam Premna Hritkanta Yoshpura.
O
Hare Krishna,
Srimad.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Can I
Yes,
read?
sure.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the most fallen, please never leave me, accompanied by pure love for Krishna. Please manifest yourself in my heart and throat. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. All right. So what we can see here, asadu. Asadu means unsaintly. And sadhuta. Sadhu means saintly. So that means Sanatan Goswami is praying here, saying that the Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly. All right. So we may have any kind of background. We may come from many varieties of background, right? And in a course of our life, we have done so many things, all right? And eventually, everybody would like to be a saint, right? Anyone wants to be a saint? Anyone? So when you see that, so the Srimad Bhagavatam, those who recite Srimad Bhagavatam daily in the morning, all right, it bestows saintliness to the unsaintly, all right. So, and at the same time, so Sanatana Goswami also saying, oh, uplifter of the most fallen. Okay, who is the most fallen? All right. You can come from any kind of background. You can be from the very highly elevated background, or you can be the most lowest among the lowest. You can be the extremely fallen. All right. But at the same time, those who read Srimad Bhagavatam, they'll be uplifted. All right. At the same time, what they call Sanatana Goswami is praying, please never leave me. How we can understand that? It's a book and we are reading, but here is praying, please never leave me. All right. What does it mean by we don't leave me? That means what? So that means we must understand Srimad Bhagavatam is a personified. Srimad Bhagavatam is Radha Krishna itself. There's no difference. Okay. So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are personally associating with Radha Krishna. Example, you see the writings of the book. All right. It's printed in black and the paper is white. So what we understand here, I heard from this one lecture you're telling. So the black ink is Krishna and the white sheet of paper is Radha. So it's a Radha Krishna combined, you see in Srimad Bhagavatam. So actually we pray, all right? Sometimes we ask, usually when we talk about prayer, they say pray. I say, pray what? So usually the standard prayer is, all right, we are asking for some kind of benediction. Okay, that's become a very standard, right? Standard prayer. Okay, like how the Christians sometimes pray for a daily bread, all right? And the Muslims will pray for forgiveness. So that means we are praying for some kind of benediction. Okay, we are praying for some kind of benediction. But here, what actually our prayer? Okay, the prayer is supposed to be, all right, that we pray to Sri Krishna for the strength to face trouble. Okay, because there's no way we can never escape trouble, right? Okay, as they say, as time comes, there'll be a rain. At the time comes, there'll be a sunny day. As how that weather is changing without us asking. Similarly, our happiness and distress will come by itself and go by itself. We have no choice. We have no control over them. The only thing that we pray to Krishna is to give us strength. So here, Sanatana Goswami is giving us a fantastic example how we should pray. So what he prays here, please never leave me. That's what is our prayer, because the greatest loss in our life when we disregard Srimad Bhagavatam after relishing it. After when you start reading it, then you give up. Or after reading it, and also when you're only going to read it every Tuesday, that's not a good thing. You must make sure, no matter what, right? You must make sure every day you should read at least one page of Srimad Bhagavatam. All right, it's very, very purifying and it's very auspicious. All right. So and also what Krishna says, okay, please never leave me. But after that he says what? Accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Okay, pure love of Krishna is the one that everyone is hankering for. Everyone is looking for some pure love of Krishna. Okay, so and at the same time he says, please manifest yourself. Please manifest yourself in my heart and throat. So in my heart means I always remember Krishna. When in throat means I always speak about Krishna. Okay, so this is the prayer. This, if you can see this, it's under the prayers to Bhagavatam. All right. So I hope that before you read Bhagavatam, always you go through this prayer, then you read your Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so with that little introduction, so today we go to our topic. Where is it? Okay. So we are in chapter 9. We are still in chapter 9. Okay, because we are going through the chapter. We are relishing piece by piece, right? We are enjoying piece by piece, so we are not rushing. Just like say like you're eating. You got very tasty rasagula, all right, or laddu. What do? You don't straight put in your mouth. So you bite piece by piece and you relish it, right? So similarly, that's the same way that we are relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are still in chapter 9, and the title of the chapter is Passing Away of Bhishmadev, all right? And here Bhishmadev is showing a fantastic example how a person should leave the body and what kind of mindset a person is supposed to be. at that final moment. Okay. So anyway, let's recap from 2 verses before. So and we discussed 2 weeks ago, I was talking about Sutta Uvacha. So I explained why Sutta. So that means you all understood, right? Why Sutta Dev Goswami is speaking. So he says, thus Bhishma Dev merged himself into the Super Soul. In the Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and action. That means what? He merged means he's never go into that. Okay, like Brahmavadi or the Mayavadis always want to merge into Brahmajodi. They want to merge into light. All right. So here the merge is he's with his mind. That means he absorbed himself in his mind, speech, sight, and action. And thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. Okay. Then last week we studied, knowing that Bhishma Dev had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. All right, everybody became solemn, everybody became silent. All right, so now today we're going to do text 45. Okay. Tatra, tatra, dundu bayo, dundu bayo. So O means we naturally pull the raga. E and O we pull the raga. So dundu bayo, nedur. Okay, you see E, so we're going to pronounce nedur. Tatra dundu bayo nedur. Deva Manava Vadita Vaditaha. Okay, Vaditaha. Okay. Okay, as with apostrophe S, we're going to call it like a shampoo. Okay, we pronounce Sha. So Sha Shang Shu, Sha Shang Suhu. All right. So Sha Shang. When you see the word M with a dot on top, you pronounce the M from your nose. So it sounds like something like All right. So Shashang Suhu. Okay. Sadavo. Sadavo. Okay. O means we pull the raga. Then Rajnyam. Rajnyang Kat Petuhu Pushpa Vritshayaha. Okay. When you see there's a S with a dot at the bottom, you're going to put your tongue at the parent and you're going to say the S. So Vritshaya. Vrittaya. Okay. Now, another thing I just want to highlight here, when you see the H dot, okay, let me get this thing. This is much easier to show this very neat. All right. So when you see the H dot, okay. So when you see O, when you see there's a after that H dot, okay, A, then H dot. So that means we're going to say aha. So there's a silent A at the back. Aha, vaditaha. So when you see U, there's a silent U. So sasang suhu. Sadavo rajnang kat petuhu. Okay, you see you pushpa vrtsaya. Okay. So what is that alphabet? Usually the alphabet will be vowels A, E, I, O, U, right? So whatever things there, when you see the H dot, it continues, but in a silent note. Okay. Okay. Now Tatra dundu payo nedur deva manava vaditaha sasangshu sasangshu sadavo rajnyang katpetu pushpa vritshayaha tatra dundu bayo nedur deva manava vaditaha sasangshu sadavo rajnyang Katpetu pushpa vritsayaha tatra dundu bayo nedur deva manava vaditaha sasang shashang suhu sadavo rajnang katpetu pushpa vritsayaha. Okay. Come on. Who like to chant? Arsi Mataji, Saras Mataji. There's 2 Saraswati here. Tachaini Mataji, come on. Parishit Prabhu.
I try, Prabhu.
Yes,
Please help me.
definitely.
Tatra dum tu bayo nedru deva manava vaditya
Vaditaha.
vaditya shasam su sadavo prajanam kat Petu Pushpa Vrishtaya.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, when you see the N with the line on top, so we're going to pronounce nya.
Yeah. Oh, I
This
see.
N here, we're going to pronounce nya.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Rajnyang,
Yeah.
Rajnyang.
Okay.
எனக்கே வாயில நுழைய மாட்டேங்குது.
Okay. Thank you. I was
Okay.
very nervous, scared. I always get scared when I see.
No worries, no
Scared
worries.
of making mistakes.
Definitely, you have to make mistake to learn.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, next, want to try? Next. Hello.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yep.
Tatra duntu bayo nedu
Mhm.
deva manava vaditaha
Mhm.
shasham suhu sadavo rashnam padpado pusparishaya
Vrishayaha. Okay.
Vishtayaha.
All right. Good try. Good try. Because
Thank
I
you,
know
Prabhu.
this pronunciation is
Prabhu.
very complicated in this verse.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Another last person. One more who want to try?
So I try.
Yes.
Okay. Tatra dundu bayu nidur deva manava vaditaha sasamsu sahavu rajnam katpetu pushpa vrichaya.
All right. Okay.
Not good.
Never mind.
Hare
Good try, good
Krishna.
try. All right.
Okay.
Tatra dundu bayo nedur deva manava vadita shashangsu sadavo rajnyang khatpetu pushpa vrikshayaha. I've been attending this Chaitanya Charitamrita class, and there is all Bengali. So it's totally different. So after absorb there, suddenly come here, it's all sunk a bit. All right. Anyway, so let's look at this tatra. Tatra means thereafter. Dundubaya, drums. Neduhu was sounded. Deva, the demigods from the planet, from other planets. Manava, men from all countries. Vaditaha, beaten by. Sasam, Shashang, Su, praised. Sadava, honest. Ranyam, by the royal order. Ranyam, cut from the sky. Petuhu, begin to fall. Pushpa Vrishayaha, flowers, showers of flowers. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Then now, Prabhupada is, continuing. Who's speaking now? Anyone? Who's speaking? Let's see who can answer. Who is
Sutta
speaking now?
Swami.
Huh?
Sutta Goswami.
Very good, fantastic. You are paying attention. I'm very happy. So Sutta Goswami is continuing speaking, right? So he says thereafter. He's talking to who? Sutta Goswami. Arsi Mataji.
I can recall the.
He's speaking to the sage in Naimi Saranya.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now he says, okay, then he's continuing thereafter. Both men and demigods sounded drums in honor. They start to beat the drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced. Demonstration of honor and respect. And from the sky fell showers of flowers. Okay, so now let's look at the purport. So Bhishma Dev was respected both by human beings and the demigods. Okay. All right. So Bhishma Dev was respected. Okay. He was respected by the both human beings and the demigods. Okay. He was very highly respected. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planets in the Boor and Boer group of planets. Okay. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planet. So what we can understand from here? How many of you are joining that Dr. Dinesh explanation about this universal this thing, the planetary system? So very interesting. All right, if you missed it, you can go to the YouTube and see that. his class on that the planetary system, all right, according to the Bhagavatam. Okay, now let's look at this. The human beings live on Earth. Okay, human live on Earth. At the same time, similar other planets of the Bur Bua, or in the Bur and Buvar group of planets. Okay, but the demigods live in Swar or heavenly planet. Okay, they're living in heavenly planet. The Devas lives in heavenly planet. So that means human beings live on Earth and similar other planet in Bur and Buvar. Okay, sometimes when you see the Gayatri, Om Bur Bua Swa. Okay, Om Bur Buvar. All right. So that means in other words, the human being don't only exist in this plane. They exist in all the other group of planets. And all of them knew Bhishma Dev as a great warrior. They knew him as a great warrior and also the devotee of the Lord. Okay, they know that Bhishma as a great warrior and also the devotee of the Lord. As a Mahajan. Mahajan means the authority. All right. These are the authority. All of them are totally in 12. So there are 12 authorities that authorized. So sometimes when we want to, example, when I am sick, who is the authorized person for me to seek? Is a doctor. When I start to have some specific disease, I have to see that specific doctor. If I got ear problem, I have to see ENT. Right? When I'm having ear problem, I cannot go to that, what they call oncologist or other whatever department, right? So there are authorities. Okay. So similarly, even in spiritual life, there is authorities, and there are 12 of them. All right, 12 authorities, and one of the authority is Bhishma Dev. Okay, Bhishma Dev, all right, is the authority. Okay, now as a Mahajana authority, he was on the level of Brahma, Narada, and Shiva. Okay, he is on the level of the Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, although he was a human being. So qualification. So now Prabhupada is telling qualification on par with great demigods is possible only on attainment of spiritual perfection. So what we can understand from this? So that means the qualification on par. That means when we are practicing devotional service, all right, or we're becoming perfect in spiritual practice, we can also go in par with, of course, with all these great devas. Okay, it's possible. All right. Only on attainment of spiritual perfection. Thus, Bhishma Dev was known all over the universes. And during his interplanetary travel, was affected by the finer method than the futile endeavor of mechanical spacecraft. Okay, that means during his interplanetary travel was affected by finer method than the futile endeavor of mechanical spacecraft. Okay, what do you call Dinesh, are you there? I think it's not there. Okay, anyway, no problem. All right. So when the distant planets were informed of the passing away of Bhishma Dev, that means when all the other planetary system was informed of the passing away of Bhishma Dev, all the inhabitants of the upper planets, as well as the earth, dropped shower of flowers to show due respect. All right. Departed of great personality.
Prabhu?
No, maybe one day you can consider doing about that interplanetary travel.
Pardon?
The interplanetary travel. You know that how that Pushpa Vimanam and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do research and we can do a class on that in the future.
Okay.
Okay. How the people like the Pushpa Vimanam and all these things travel, and what is that the modern scientist is talking about it, right? You are a very scientific person. Maybe you should do some research on that.
Actually, Prabhupada has written a book titled Easy Journey to Other Planets.
Yes, correct.
Actually, the basic purport of that book is that the moment we attain, the moment we are liberated, we can easily go to the spiritual sky. So we can even go beyond this material universe. But ironically, Prabhupada argues that all these scientists, they are merely working so hard to explore this material universe.
Yes,
when we can actually go beyond that.
Correct.
Mm.
So you can after you finish your planets, Earth and all these the classes,
Mm.
maybe you can consider this as a topic for you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought about it. Anyway, no problem. All right.
Okay.
So this showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition. So this from heaven is a recognition of the great demigods by great demigods and should be never be compared to the decoration of a dead body. All right. It's just not like this thing. Okay. The body of a Bhishma Dev lost its material effects, but due to being surcharged with spiritual realization. And thus the body was spiritualized as when iron becomes red hot in contact with fire. All right. So we shouldn't make assumption, or this is another material body, date and everything, theta and all this, right? So this is actually the body became spiritualized. So what example Prabhupada is giving? When iron become red hot, okay, when it's contact with fire, okay, the iron become red hot. Okay. So similarly, Krishna is right in front of him. So he has attained the perfection. Okay, the body of a fully self-realized soul is not therefore accepted as material. Okay, the body of a fully self-realized soul. Sometimes that's why when you see when a devotee or a great devotee was whoever passed away, all right, they will have that they will bring the remains, all right, to the temple to take the last darshan from the Lord, and before they take them to samadhi, I mean to entombed, right, to put into a samadhi, right? Because we must understand the body of a spiritual master, body of a great devotees, all right, all these devotees are not material. Okay, it's not material. It is become very spiritual. Okay, even though the body just look like another dead body, right? We must understand that, because when you see the devotees, they are always engaging 24 hours. All right, they are eyes, they are all their five senses, working senses, mind, intelligence, ego. All these things are fully purified. When all these senses are purified, even though that person, all right, even though that person was alive, he became Jiva Mukta. I mean, even he was alive, he have already attained liberation. That's why a devotee usually do not aspire for liberation. All right, when you there's a few types of liberation, Swarupya, Samyukta, all these kind of liberation, they are not really interested. All right. Even sometimes when you see there's when you read that prayer of these pure devotees, okay, like Goswami and all these things, they don't even desire to go back home, back to body, because it doesn't make any difference to them. All right. See, like for instance, I was reading. Okay, anyway, it's out of the topic. Anyway, so so that means the devotees are when they are fully absorbed in devotional service, right? So they are already in Goloka Vrindavan. They are already in Vrindavan. Okay. Say like for instance, like Vrindavan, place, the holy place Vrindavan. Prabhupada came and he proved it. All right, he proved it. What he proved? He went and created 108 Vrindavan around the world in his lifetime. He established 108 temples. And his great disciples went around the world and further established. Everywhere in the world where the name of Krishna is chanted and the Krishna is worshipped, and there is a congregation of devotees glorifying Krishna, that place becomes Vrindavan. And now you can see Vrindavan in Saudi, in the Middle East. You can see Vrindavan in North America, South America. You can see Vrindavan in where? In Europe. Okay, you can see Vrindavan in London. Anywhere around the world, even you can see in Malaysia itself got many Vrindavan. Okay, all the temples will become Vrindavan. All right. So similarly, when we are simply chanting and all this, the place becomes purified. Imagine a personified, a devotee who always engage himself in chanting, reading, and glorifying the Lord, right, and serving the Lord and the devotees with full of love and affection. All right. So that means that for that person, even though he is living in this material body with full of matter, he becomes purified. All right. So we should understand that this person or this body is not a material body. So special ceremony are observed for each spiritual bodies. So special ceremonies are observed for such spiritual bodies. Yeah. that means there's a special observance. The respect and recognition of Bhishmadev are never to be imitated by artificial means. So the way that Bhishmadev went through, we shouldn't be imitated, as it becomes a fashion to observe the so-called Jayanti ceremony of any, what they call? Because it become a fashion. Now let's look at this. To observe a so-called, so that means so-called Jayanti ceremony for every common man. All right? You understand what I mean? So that means now it became a very common thing to celebrate day like Gandhi Jayanti. Can you imagine? A mortal was given the title Jayanti, all right? Or some kind of a mortal man who have being a great this thing, they name Jayanti. Jayanti, okay, now when we look at this, okay, who are the people who can have the title Jayanti, all right? So according to the authorized Shastra, Jayanti ceremony only for, Jayanti ceremony, okay, now let's look at this. So according to authorized Shastra, such Jayanti ceremony for an ordinary man, however exalted he may be materially, is an offense to the Lord, because Jayanti is reserved for the day when the Lord appears on the earth. Bhishmadev was unique in his activity, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. All right? So we must always remember that. So the Jayanti is only to be celebrated only for the Lord. Any kind of human being, any great politician, when after they die, we call Jayanti is a offense. Okay? Okay, let's look at text 46. Tasya nirharanadini sampratesasya bhargava yudhishthira karayitva muhurtam de dukkito bhavat. Tasya, he is nirharanat adini, funeral ceremony. So nirharana adini samparatasya of the dead body, Bhargava, the descendant of Bhrigu, Yudhishthira, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Kara Yitva, having performed Muhurtam for the moment, Dukkita, sorry, Abhavat became. So the translation, descendant of Bhrigu, that means descendant of Bhrigu is Saunaka, because what they call? Sutta Goswami is addressing Saunaka, the head of that rishis. All right? So descendant of Bhrigu, Saunaka, after performing funeral ritual of the dead body of Bhishmadev, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Okay, Maharaj Yudhishthira was overtaken by grief. He was very sad. All right. So now, Bhishmadev was not only a great family head of Maharaj Yudhishthira, but also he was a great philosopher and friend to him. Okay. So it's not, Bhishmadev is not only a family head, okay, of Maharaj Yudhishthira, but also he was a great philosopher and a friend to him. Okay, his brothers and his mothers. That means Bhishmadev is the one who took care of them, because the mother became a widow at a very young age, and the mother became a widow with 5 little children. So Bhishmadev acted as the protector, and he protected the mother and also his brothers. Okay, so since Maharaj Pandu, the father of 5 brothers headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, okay, since Maharaj Pandu, the father of the 5 brothers headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, has died, Bhishmadev was the most affectionate grandfather. Okay, he was the most affectionate grandfather of the Pandavas and caretaker of the widow daughter-in-law Kunti Devi. All right. So that means when Maharaj Pandu passed away, okay, Kunti Devi became a very young widow. At the same time, she has 5 young children. So Bhishmadev has a very affectionate grandfather and also father-in-law, took care of them very nicely. Okay. Although Maharaj Dhritarashtra, that means although Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the elder uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Okay, who's Maharaj Dhritarashtra? That means elder uncle. That means he is Yudhishthira's Periyappa. Okay, he's the eldest. That means Pandu's elder brother, Dhritarashtra, the son of Duryodhana. Father of Duryodhana. So he's a Periyappa. Okay, was there to look after them. Okay, even though he was there to look after them, his affection was more on the side of 100 sons. That means his affection is towards his sons, headed by Duryodhana. Okay, ultimately a colossal clique. Okay, colossal clique was fabricated to deprive the 5 fatherless brothers of the rightful claim of the kingdom of Hastinapura. Okay, now what happened? See, the thing is, Maharaj Dhritarashtra is a blind man. A man who are crippled is not allowed to become the king. The king must be perfect. All right. But because the elder brother, the Yudhishthira, the Dhritarashtra was blind. So he cannot become the king. So automatically the kingdom went to his younger brother. His younger brother is Pandu. Okay. And he got another younger brother. It's called Vidura. Of course, Vidura is not allowed because he born out of maidservant. Okay. So he cannot. So anyway, so Pandu was a sickly man. Even though he is such a very distinct. Okay, the name Pandu means he looks pale. வெளுத்து போயிருப்பாரு. ஆளை பார்த்தா தெரியுமா ஒரு மாதிரி சோப்பா வெளுத்து போய், he's look very pale. All right. And out of his he accidentally will kill what they call when he go hunting, he'll kill one what they call a deer, and the deer end up cursing him. All right, the male deer. So cursing, and so end of the day, it's a long story. Anyway, so he was cursed. All right, he cannot go near his wife. So one day he went near his wife, he died. All right. So so when he died, all right, the mother Kunti became a widow with 5 children. All right. So when we talk about Kunti Devi also got a boon. And what was the boon? That that she can simply call upon any devas, and the devas will give her a child. She have the boon to invoke. All right. She'll have a boon to invoke. All right. This thing. And which sadhu was that? The rishi is always. Can anyone help me? Which rishi is that? That gave her the benediction. Parikshit Prabhu, can you help me on this?
Dhruva Maharaj.
Huh? Sorry, Prabhu. I didn't hear you, Prabhu. Did he say something?
So is it Parasra Muni?
Parasara Muni. Is it Parasaya?
Durvasa Muni.
Durvasa Muni. Durvasa
Durvasa
Muni.
Okay.
Durvasa Muni is always very short temper.
Yeah.
Right? He's
Father
always
of
short temper.
Yasha.
When he goes to every kingdom, the king will become scared. Pochira. All right. If people don't serve him rightly, he will simply curse. Right? He loved to curse. So when he came, that Kunti Devi, when she was young princess, she took care of him so nicely. And of course, this great Muni could see the future, and she gave her the Durvasa Muni gave a benediction to Kunti Devi, that you can simply look upon any devas, you can invoke, they will come and give you a child. You can have a child through them. Oh, so okay. Then what happened when she was still young? She was just, after she heard the mantra, when she got the thing, and she just wanted to test the mantra. So she looked at the sun, she uttered the mantra. So Surya Dev came and impregnated her. Of course, and she became pregnant before her wedding. She's not married. So immediately she delivered a child, and that child is Karnan. All right. So Karnan. So they say, she delivered a child. So he just packed the thing and just let go in the river. Right. So later part, of course, because Pandu cannot have child. A king must have a child. Even the way that Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidura born, that's another story. It's another long story. You can refer to Mahabharata. So, when they need to have a heir, they need to have a child to continue their dynasty. It's very important for a king to have a son. All right. If a king don't have a son, it's a big headache, big problem. So he was thinking, oh my God, the elder brother, okay, got 100 sons, but of course, but Pandu became the king because the eldest brother is blind. So the younger brother became the king, and this king must have a child, must have a son. All right. So at that one particular, when they went hunting, he had another co-wife. I forgot the name, Sumantra or something like that. So he went near. Of course, he died. But before that, what they call when this Pandu was cursed. Then Kunti Devi went and told, that Muni gave me this mantra. When I chant the mantra, I can have a child through the devas. I say, really? All right. So why not you call upon? So first she called upon Yamaraj, and from Yamaraj, Dharmaraj, he got that son, Yudhishthira. So Yudhishthira is Dharmaraj, Dharmaputra, okay, son of Yamaraj. Then he called upon Vayu, then he called upon Agni, Bhima, then Arjuna. Okay, Arjuna was born out of from this, what do you call? Arjuna's father was
Indra.
Indra, okay, king of heaven. Okay, then after that, the younger wife will she'll give the mantra to the younger, to this co-wife, and the co-wife will call upon Ashwini Kumara, and of course, through them, she will have Nagula and Sahadeva, the two. Okay, but after they start to have children, suddenly when Pandu went near the wife, he died, and that's it. So the second wife, the co-wife, went into sati ceremony, went with the husband. She died along with the husband, but she was not allowed to do that because she got 5 young children. All right. So this is the thing. The colossal clique, the fabricator deprived. That means as an elder uncle, Priyappa, he deprives the children. We cannot say, oh, that means his argument is, I am the king, supposed to be the king. Because I am blind, I couldn't be the king. So he was always wanted Duryodhana to be the king. Always he wanted Duryodhana to be the king. So he did all kind of things. All right. I think we will study that in the what they call in chapter 13. All right. Chapter 13, we will study what will happen to Dhritarashtra. Okay, the Vidura younger brother will come and will start to use very harsh word against the elder brother. Then eventually the elder brother will retire this thing. So there you can see he was in his intention, even though he's a very what they call very cunning person. All right. So anyway, okay. So there was a great intrigue. So that means the fatherless brothers, even though they are fatherless brothers, but they have the claim to the kingdom of Vasudha because the father was a king. Pandu was the king. Right. So then this Bhishma only became the the Dhritarashtra only became the caretaker king. After that, when they grown up, they're supposed to give it back to them. They refused to give. All right. So there was a great intrigue, common in imperial palace. It's very common. All right. And the 5 brothers were exiled to the wilderness. Okay, all 5 of them went into exile. But Bhishma Dev was always sincerely sympathetic. He was always sympathetic, well-wisher, grandfather, friend, and philosopher to Maharaj Yudhishthira, even up to the last moment of life. Okay, can anyone tell me what does it mean by this? You all following these classes, right? So what does it mean by Maharaj Yudhishthira, even up to the last moment of life? Can anyone recall? Yes, who's that? Can anyone recall? What does it mean by this? Hello? Arasi Mataji, you've been a very attentive student. Vaishnava Kripadas, yes, Prabhu, you can speak.
Lord Krishna advised Yudhishthira to go and take advice from him on how to manage the government.
Yes. Because when that means in previous this thing, when the prayers of Queen Kunti, right? When the last part of the prayer, what happened? This what's the name? Yudhishthira will be lamenting, right? Because of me, many people died, this and that. But Krishna just kept quiet. Why? Because he wants Yudhishthira to take the teachings from Bhishma. Yes or not?
Bhishma.
Do you remember the last
Yeah.
chapter? Arisi Mataji, do you remember or not?
Yes, sir.
If you don't remember,
Yes.
please go back to chapter 8 and read the last 10 verses.
Okay.
All right? Say like text 46, chapter 8, Krishna, Yudhishthira was very much aggrieved, could not be convinced despite instruction by great sages headed by Vyasa and Lord Krishna himself. He was so heartbroken. Why the thing? Krishna simply create the situation so he can take his final instruction from Bhishma. Did anyone, Kripa Prabhu, I mean, have you read this, what they call Mahabharat about this, the instruction of Bhishma Dev? Have anyone?
Only from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. No, in that instruction, you'll be telling many things, especially like Sahasranamam. All right. and also some moral ethics, right? How a person should bathe, how the person, everything. It's very interesting. Anyway, so, okay, he died very happily by seeing Maharaj. So that means at the end of the day, he died very happily seeing Maharaj Yudhishthira onto the throne. Otherwise, he would have long ago quitted his material body. All right, what does it mean by long ago quitted his material body? Means that Bhishma had a boon. He can simply choose the time of death. Okay, he got the time. He can simply choose. Okay, I feel like dying, that's he will die. All right, until he don't decide to die, he can never die. All right, so that means, okay, so he waited for Yudhishthira to go to the throne. Okay, so instead of suffering agony over the undue suffering of the Pandavas, he was simply waiting for the opportune moment, because he was sure and certain that the sons of Pandu would come out victorious on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And as his lordship Sri Krishna was their protector, okay, as a devotee of the Lord, he knew that the Lord devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. So at the same time, he also understands this. He knew that the Lord's devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. Okay, so what is the example? 931 Bhagavad Gita. Behold, Partha, my devotee never perishes. You know, Krishna declares, right? Chapter 9, text 30. Krishna, what he says? 31. Right? He says, my devotee never perishes. So once we accept Krishna and we become the servant of Krishna and we start to engage in Krishna, even you chant Hare Krishna mantra even once, you must be understood that you have taken the bait, and Krishna will never let you go, and Krishna will give you all protection, even though you disregard him. All right, even though say, nonsense, Hare Krishna, what is this? Even though whatever it says, your bhakti beach, that means the seed of the bhakti is already sprouted. All right. So when the seed is sprouted, so that means eventually, whether you like it or not, you are on your way back home, back to Godhead. Okay. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, like 9:30. All right. I hope that every devotee read and memorize chapter 9 by your heart. All right. Because chapter 9, it actually gives so much of assurance being a devotee. Right? Do all of us need assurance? Yes or not? How many of you don't like assurance? We all want assurance, correct? Come on, let's talk. You all want assurance, right? We selected a new government. Why? Because the new government seems to be very assuring. And after they become the prime minister and they take the government, they're giving assurance. I'll make sure there's no corruption. I make sure all these things run smoothly. I make sure that everyone will get a job. Assurance is something that everybody wants it. Yes or not? So similarly, chapter 9 is the very assuring book, chapter in Bhagavad Gita as a devotee. And final verse in chapter 9 is what? Man mana bhamad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vishayuktayam atmanamad parayana. Eventually you'll come to me. Pay homage to me, worship me, always surrender to me, think about me. All right? So when we do that, if Krishna says, you will come to me without a doubt. So in 9:30, what Krishna says, okay, now you're a devotee. What happens if you fall down? All right? They say it's a temporary, momentary fall down. Even a devotee falls down, it's something that we shouldn't be derided. The place gone case. Hey, I saw the devotee was drinking beer that day. Finish, gone case. No, we can never criticize a devotee because we must understand. We must understand that devotee eventually will bounce back. Eventually will come back. They have already tasted. They have already tasted the nectar. But of course, we are living in this conditioned world. We have so much of challenges. Sometimes people will fall down. But even if we fall down, with Krishna assuring that this person will come back. And after that, 9:31, what Krishna says, behold, Partha, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Okay, let's see how he actually said it. So 9:31. So he said, he quickly, Shpram bhavati dharmatma, shashvak chantim nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly. Declare it boldly. My devotee never perishes. Jai Srimad. My devotee never perishes. So that is something, a great assuring thing. that we as a devotee of Krishna, we shall not perish. Even we may give up this body and we go to the next, but our bhakti will go on. You, the person with your mind, intelligence, ego, and all these things will continue. And eventually you'll become a pure devotee of the Lord. And through that purity, you will eventually go back home, back to Godhead. And there's no doubt about it. Okay. Those people who have Chaitanya Charitamrita. How many of you got Chaitanya Charitamrita? Okay. How many of you don't have CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita?
I don't have, sir.
You Kanchana, you don't have. Okay. Next.
I said you next, sir.
Who is that?
Yes.
Arisimha.
I also don't have.
I also don't have. sir.
I also don't have.
Right.
Prabhu.
Vaishnava Prabhu,
I have, Prabhu.
you have. Have you read?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you reading? Still reading?
And now in the Antim
Ante Leela.
Leela.
Ah, okay. All right. So what I suggest, if you don't have Chaitanya Charitamrita, get a copy. All right. It's I think mine is a 1 copy edition. I think it's normal. I think it's around seven books, I think, like Bhagavatam. If you don't have, at least you can go to Vedabase and you can read this Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is very, very important. You know, that's when you will appreciate that how lucky are you to be in this bhakti movement. How fortunate are you? You know, especially Madhya Leela, text 21, chapter 21. Okay, opulence of Krishna. Then chapter 22, 23, 24, and the final chapter. I think 25 is the final chapter. Please read the last 5 chapters of Madhya Leela. Okay. Read it word by word. Read it word by word. Don't just simply read. Study word by word. You will never believe that how fortunate are you, because Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, Mahaprabhu is giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami. Right? You will never believe. I don't know how to express myself other than surkraning and being this expression. Fantastic. You should be very, 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 very fortunate to be able to be here. All right. So that's what Prabhupada says. As a devotee of the Lord, he knew that the Lord's devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. Okay. So since you have got the boon, this is the greatest boon, Varam. Please make full use of this, expand it, chant your 16 rounds daily, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right. So there's so many things to read. It's okay. Just try to read. Right. And you just see, okay, all these things that Krishna will start revealing himself to you. You will be very surprised. All right. Just make a point. Okay. Make a timetable. Okay. I'm going to read half an hour of Bhagavad Gita daily. 1 hour of Bhagavatam, and 1 hour of Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right. So just say, okay, 2.5 hours. All right. You just choose in a whole day. Choose a moment. Okay. Now in cell phone, even in your handphone also, you can have all these apps. All right. Read it. Okay. If you can't read it, later I'll share in the group. If you have Apple phone, you can even in Android also can. Yes. Bhakti Vedanta Library. Bhakti Vedanta Vedic Library. BVL. Bhakti Vedanta Vedic Library. If you can't read, you can listen. You can go there and you click the thing, and there'll be a narrator, Damodar Prabhu. He'll be narrating. Maharaj Yudhishthira was quite fit. That means from Bhagavad Gita to what they call to Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all the books of Prabhupada is in audio format. Audio. Right? And also if you have time, if you have Apple phone, I'm not sure about Android, you can also download this app called Be a Sage. Be a Sage. So when you go there, Be a Sage, you can set your goal. Example, all right, now is month of May 9th, starting of May. That means June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Roughly we have 7 months. Okay, let's make it 6 months. In 6 months, if you feel like finishing up this book, when you just put into that, Be a Sage, there's apps, all right? There's something that you need to fill up. It will tell you per day how many pages you need to read. It's very accurate. It tell you, okay, today you read 5 pages of Bhagavad Gita, 7 pages of Bhagavatam. Okay, so it tell you, just follow that and fill up. Okay, now I've read, just click. All right, just fill in. Okay, now I've done my 7. It will tell you by when exactly you can finish these books. Be a sage and also Bhakti Vedanta library, right? Bhakti Vedanta Vedic library. So these 2 fantastic apps is there that can help you to assist you to go on reading. Okay. Okay. Okay, he was very sorry for the separation of great soul and not for the material body which Bhishmadev relinquished. The funeral ceremony was necessary duty, although Bhishmadev was a liberated soul. So since Bhishmadev was without issue, the eldest grandson, namely, without issue means what? That means Bhishmadev never had a son. Okay, the eldest grandson, namely Maharaj Yudhishthira, was a rightful person to perform this ceremony. It was a great boon to Bhishmadev that an equally great son of the family undertook the last rites of a great man. All right. So we have another 3 verses. I think we better finish it up today. So maybe starting from next week, we can start the chapter 10. All right. So text 47. Tushtuvur munayo hista krishnang yat guhya nama bi ataste krishna hirdaya svarashman prayayu puna. All the great sages then glorified Lord Krishna, who is present there. By coincidence, by confidential Vedic hymns, then all of them turned to their respective hermitages, bearing always the Lord Krishna within their heart. That means everybody went back. So the devotee of the Lord are always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the heart of the devotees. That is the sweet relation between the Lord and his devotees. So now let's look at this word sweet. I'm always wondered, what is this sweet? Sweet relation. They use the word sweet. Sweet relation, sweet. The feeling is so sweet. The pastime is sweet. I didn't understand until I read Chaitanya Charitamrita. You will understand what the sweetness means. All right. So due to unalloyed love of devotion to the Lord, the devotee always see him within themselves and the Lord also. Although he has nothing to do and nothing to aspire to, is always busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees. For the ordinary living being, the law of nature is there for all actions and reaction, but he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path. The devotees, therefore, are under the direct care of the Lord. And the Lord is also voluntarily put himself under the care of his devotees only. That means the Lord also voluntarily put himself, okay, under the care of his devotees only. So all the sages headed by Vyasadeva was a devotee of the Lord, and therefore they chanted the wedding hymns after the funeral ceremony, and just to please the Lord, who was present there personally. All the Vedic hymns are chanted to please the Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. All the Vedas, Upanishad, Vedanta are seeking him only, and all hymns for the glorifying him only. The sages therefore performed the exact act suitable for the purpose. They happily departed to their respective hermitages. 48. Tato Yudhishthiro gatva saha Krishna gajavayam pitarang santvayam asa gandharim cha tapashvinim. Thereafter, Maharaj Yudhishthira at once went to his capital, Hastinapura, accompanied by Lord Krishna, and he consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic. All right. So that means uncle, that means his uncle, that means what they call Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari now became like ascetic. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, do anyone of you want to read this puppet? Anyone want to try? Kanchana, do you want to read this puppet?
I try, sir, because my
Yes.
screen very small, I can see.
Okay.
Dharashtra and Gandhari, the father and the mother of Duryodhana and his brother, were the elder uncle and aunt of Maharaj Yudhishthira. After the battle of Kurukshetra, the celebrated couple, having lost all their sons and grandsons, were under the care of Maharaj Yudhishthira. They were passing their days in great agony over such a heavy loss of life and were practically living the life of ascetic. The dead news of Bhishmadev, Deva, uncle of Yudhishthira, was another great shock for the king and queen, and therefore they required solace from Maharaj Yudhishthira. Maharaj Yudhishthira was conscious of his duty, and it was at once hurried to the spot with Lord Krishna, and to satisfy the bereaved Dharashtra with kind words from both himself and the Lord also.
Okay. Now when we see here, that what happened? So that means Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, okay, is the father and mother of Duryodhana and his brothers. Total 100 of them, all were killed in action. Okay. Then after all of them were killed, then Dhritarashtra and Gandhari was so upset. So basically, when a person loses his family, his sons and everything, so what's the point of them living? So they live like ascetic, okay, like a rishi, okay, Samyar Mari, right? So they live like ascetic, and they were like so heartbroken, all right. But of course, as a very responsible nephew, so Maharaj Yudhishthira took care of them, all right, because they are still the eldest in the family, the father's older brother, all right, father's older brother and father's younger brother considered a father. That's why we call Priyappa and Chittappa, all right. So they are still considered father. So he did his duty. And now what happened at the second round? He heard the Maharaj, means his uncle, okay, Dhritarashtra's uncle passed away, Priyappa. Okay, he also because Dhritarashtra father is the younger brother to Bhishma. So when he heard that his uncle also passed away, he was even more devastated. Okay, he was so devastated. So once they understood this, so Maharaj Yudhishthira and Krishna, he was immediately went to the spot to satisfy or to what they call to console the bereaved Dhritarashtra with kind words. Okay, continue, Kanchana. Second paragraph.
Gadadari was also a powerful ascetic. Although she was living the life of a faithful wife and kind mother, it is said that Gadadari also voluntarily
Gandhari.
Oh, Gandhari, yeah. So I cannot see. Gandhari also voluntarily blindfolded her eyes because of the blind of her
Blindness.
husband. The blindness of her husband. A wife's duty is all to follow the husband 100%. And Gadadari was so true to her husband that she followed him even in his perpetual blindness. Therefore, in her actions, she was a great ascetic. Besides that, the shock that she suffered because of the wholesale killing of her 100 sons and her grandsons was also certainly too much for her woman. But she suffered all this just like as ascetic. Gadari, also a woman, is no less than Bhishmadev in character. They are both remarkable personalities in the Mahabharata.
All right. Okay. So Gandhari is actually the princess of Gandhara. Okay, from Kandahar kingdom. So Kandahar kingdom is in Afghanistan now, right? Kandahar. So Gandhari was a very powerful ascetic. She's a very powerful person, and she was very famous for being a very faithful wife. All right, and also a kind mother. Okay. So Gandhari, what happened when she realized, okay, when she realized that she's going to marry a blind prince, right? They have no choice. All the elders got together, they discussed. So they discussed and they got them married. So when the Gandhari knew that the husband to be is blind, so what happened? She went and tied the eye. Okay. She went and tied the blindfolded. Okay, she blindfolded. And she was living as a blind for rest of her life. All right. So now that So she was perpetually became blind. Okay. And that also is action of great ascetic. Not ordinary people can't do that. Okay? It's a great ascetic, right? So even though that she had a shock of suffer of wholesale killing, I mean, all the 100 sons and all the grandsons all were killed. It's too much, especially for a woman. Okay, she couldn't take it. So she suffered just like ascetic. Okay. So now what Prabhupada is telling here, Gandhari, although she's a woman, is not no less than Bhishma Dev in character. So she also has a very glorious character like Bhishma Dev. All right. So about Gandhari, there's a lot of stories we know, we can read, especially, Gandhari was when she sees, okay, when what do you call, Duryodhana asked for, Duryodhana was so strong that he couldn't die. He was so powerful, he cannot be killed, right? Because he went and asked for a boon, and so Gandhari will, for the first time, she'll open the eyes and look at the Duryodhana's body. So wherever that Duryodhana knows this. So when Gandhari looks at the body, it can never be hurt. That means when you look at the head cannot be injured, the throat, everything cannot be injured. So he cannot die from any other injuries. But the problem is when the Gandhari was looking after, she opened the blindfold and just look at the sun, Bhishma Dev was wearing a towel. So he was wearing a towel. So all the part in his body become invincible except the ties, because he was wearing the towel. All right. So that's why during the fight, Bhima knew the place that once he hit that place, Duryodhana will die is the ties. So that's why he take the thing and hit the ties, and eventually Duryodhana will die. All right. So anyway, so that is how powerful Gandhari was. 49. Pitra Chanumato Rajo Vasudeva Numodita Chakara Rajyam Dharmena Pitir Paita Mahan Vibhu. After this, the great religious king Maharaj Yudhishthira executed the royal power of the kingdom strictly, according to the codes of royal principle approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Krishna. So Maharaj Yudhishthira was okay. Okay, who would like to read this first paragraph? Anyone?
I read, Prabhu.
Yes.
Maharaja Yudhishthira was not a mere tax collector. He was always conscious of his duty as a king, which is no less than that of a father or spiritual master. The king is to see to the welfare of the citizens from all angles of social, political, economic, and spiritual upliftment. The king must know that human being is meant for liberating the encaged soul from the bondage of material conditions, and therefore his duty is to see that the citizens are properly looked after to attain the highest stage of perfection.
Yes. Okay. Very nice. So now what we see here, King Yudhishthira was not a mere tax collection. The king is not only a tax collector. All right. He also have conscious of his duty as a king. So what is the duty of the king? Right. So duty of the king is not less than like a father or a spiritual master. That is the people who can be the king. The king is to see the welfare of the citizen from all angles. So that means the king have to see the welfare of the citizen from all angles, like social, political, economic, and spiritual upliftment. Okay. So, and king also know that the human life, what is the purpose of human life? Is liberating the encaged soul. Encaged soul means what? I mean, we are the soul, we got caged inside the body. So we have to be liberated from the encaged soul, all right, from material condition. So that's the duty of the king, all right. So duty of the king basically to see the highest perfection in the citizen. Yes, Mataji, continue.
Maharaja Yudhishthira followed these principles strictly, as will be seen from the next chapter. Not only did he follow the principles, but he also got approval from his old uncle, who is experienced in political affairs, and that was also confirmed by Lord Krishna. the speaker of the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. So don't miss chapter 10. It's going to be very interesting chapter. All right, chapter 10, chapter 11.
Maharaj,
Now you can see a lot of things happening. Okay, continue.
Maharaja Yudhishthira is the ideal monarch of monarchy. Under a trained king like Maharaja Yudhishthira is by far the most superior from the government, superior to modern republics, governments of the people, by the people, the mass of the people, especially in this age of Kali, are all born sutras, basically low born, ill-trained, unfortunate, and badly associated. They themselves do not know the highest perfection nor aims of life. Therefore, votes cast by them actually have no value, and thus persons elected by such irresponsible voters cannot be responsible representatives like Maharaja Yudhishthira. Thus,
Okay, very nice. All right, now what he says, Maharaj is an ideal monarch, a monarchy under the trained king. Okay, the trained king. That means what? The king is trained from young. First, they have to be sent to Gurukul. All right, they have to be obedient to the teacher. Then after that, they will be trained by the archer. The teacher will teach them archery. So like that, they undergo so many training before they can even become a king. All right. So now this is the way that we form a superior government. Okay. So now the modern republic or government of the people by the people. Now we have the government of the people by the people. All right. So this is all is an indication of age of Kali. What is age of Kali? Even the people who born as Sudra, basically law-born, ill-trained, unfortunate, and badly associated. All right. You see, like all these kind of people, it becomes a king. All right. They become the minister. Like for instance, now we vote. Okay, we vote for our representative. We vote for the government. So and then that government, whoever it is, they are not born from a kingly family. They are not well trained as a being officer. That's why the corruption is very high, because they just don't care. Okay. So when we look at the history, the King Henry, right? He is the king of England. That is absolutely that fulfills all the qualification of being the low-born Sudra. Right? Kill all his queens. Right? He wants to have many wives. All kind of nonsense things happen. Right? So similarly, when we come and look at all that modern society, especially that modern government, all right, like when you see in Tamil Nadu, we have atheist as a king, as a chief minister, right? Who have only language sentiment, but they don't have any other sentiment. So like this, like in Malaysia, we have a racial sentiment, and we see the king of Thailand. He's a big time playboy. All right, he also doesn't look like a Kshatriya king. He look like more into like different type of person. So this is what the indication of Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, all these nonsense people are there. All right, all these very low born, okay, they are not trained, ill trained, and very unfortunate people. All right, and they only have a bad association, like what happened to our former prime minister, very bad association, right? And now the flow got this thing, and now he's inside the prison. So all these kind of nonsense things are happening. Okay, so all these things are there. So they themselves do not know the highest perfection of life. They don't know what is life. For them, is money. Like just like what happened to our current old man now. No? Even though he's 96, 97, he still aspired to be the prime minister. He was just looking for ways. All right, he just doesn't cease from his desire. Therefore, votes cast by them actually have no value. So sometimes when we go and vote, actually has no value. Okay, because as we have all seen, no matter how many times we vote, at the end of the day, we still get betrayed. And this person elected by such irresponsible votes cannot be responsible. They cannot be responsible representative like Yudhishthira. All right. So with this, we will end our session today. So this end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled "Passing Away of Bhishma Dev in the Presence of Lord Krishna." Okay. Just to recap this chapter. All right, Bhishma Dev was lying in the bed of arrow. He was about to leave, so he's waiting for auspicious time to leave. And the time Krishna came with with Yudhishthira. At the same time, he wanted Bhishma to see that the coronation of Yudhishthira as the king. And after that, Yudhishthira will be given instruction from Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev will give a lot of instruction. All right. And one of the most famous instructions is Sahasranamam. You say you must chant the 1,000 names of Vishnu, if not, you have fallen. All right. At that time, what happened? Lord Shiva and Parvati will be swinging there, and the mother Parvati loves Lord Shiva. How is that possible? All right. They are Kshatriyas, they are educated people. They chant the name of Sahasranamam. So they are not fallen. But how about others who are not educated? How about this kind of people? All right. So that's why Lord Shiva will say in Padma Purana. The story is in Padma Purana. He say when a person simply chant Ram, he is equivalent to 1,000 names of Vishnu. So everybody will chant Ram. All the language in the world, definitely they'll have the word Ram. Like in England, we have rum, the whiskey rum, right? And some more, there's a car brand Ram or something like that. And there's an animal called ram. All right. So there's a ram, ramming. So it's always there. So that means this is an opportunity for the whole world to chant and some or other get this. Anyway, then after that, after you go through that, then after that, Bhishmadev will stick his eyes on the look of Krishna. And in what Bhishmadev will remember? Can anyone tell me? What Krishna that Bhishmadev remembers? No, Bhishmadev remembers Krishna. In what activity that he remembers? What Krishna's activity he remembers? Nobody? He remembers Krishna with a whip, and he was holding the, what do you call that? Yeah, what is the word? Huh? That the rope that ties that thing. Blinds, not blinds.
The reins.
Reins.
He'll be holding the reins with the whip on the left hand. He remembers that form. In a very angry, it's coming, all right? He remembers that form. He said that was the most beautiful form I've ever seen. All right, he looks like the sun. His dress looks like look like yellow, like glowing, right? Just like the sun rushing after him. That was the scene that I can never forget. All right. Then after that, Bhishma will be like praising Krishna, saying, calling him. What do Krishna call? What did Bhishma call Krishna? The original Narayana. Remember that? The original Narayana. That means he is the original Narayana. That means you are the supreme Narayana. And like that, all the prayers done. Then after that, when Sukla Paksha, when the sun transits into this Mesha or something like that, pieces or something, and Arjuna, Bhishmadev ready to give up his body. Okay, so that time he merged his ideas, his knowledge, his thoughts, his eyes, his senses, everything to Krishna, and he stopped breathing, and he attained the highest perfection, back to Godhead. All right. Then after that, with this simple, with this summary, this chapter ends. All right. So next week we're going to start chapter 10, departure of Lord Krishna to Dwaraka. Okay, it's going to be another this thing. So departure of Lord Krishna to Dwaraka. Total we have departure. We will have 36 verses. Departure of Lord Krishna. Then after that, chapter 11, Lord Krishna entrance into Dwaraka. It's a very interesting chapter. Okay, how he enters and who are the people who welcome him. And chapter 12, birth of Emperor Parikshit. This is the time where the Bhishma, Srimad Bhagavatam is starting. Okay, so I hope that you all are reading. So come here for recap. All right. So please nourish. So is there any questions, any comment? All right. So nothing is okay. Anyway, I'm so sorry because I'm not feeling well. Actually, I'm having a very sprained neck and I've lost my voice. Right. So my enthusiasm level is very down today. Right. So with this, so sorry. Next week, we will have class on Bhagavad Gita. And next week, Friday, this coming Friday, 19th. Oh, sorry, next week, Friday. Next week, Friday, we have His Grace, what do you call? What they call? Back Home, Back to Godhead. Are you ready? By Hari Leela Prabhu and his wife, Divya Leela. This couple, a fantastic couple. They are very well known. Okay, they are from Tamil Nadu. Coimbatore. They became a devotee in Dubai, and they give up everything. Now they are becoming serving full time in Mayapur. Okay, this couple is very famous for counseling. Okay, counseling like husband-wife problem, children, even a boy or girl want to get married before that, right? So we will have a lot of, if at all, if you want to see them personally, please do let me know when they come to Ipoh. I will arrange a meeting with them. And on a Friday, 19th, they're going to have a class in our Namahat, all right? Because our temple is going on renovation. So all the program will be Namahat, First Garden Namahat. So we're going to have the class. We're going to share the Zoom link only for outstation devotee. Okay. So all the outstation devotee, please, if you want that link, please tell me. I think today I sent to Karpia Saraswati Mataji. Right. If you want the link, I will share the link. I don't share in the group because they told me not to, because they want the local devotees to come and see him personally and rub shoulder with him, see them, talk to them. You know, their aura is fantastic, right? So so that's for the outstation devotee. And on the 21st, we're going to have what they call, we're going to have a seminar. Okay, we're going to have a seminar in this also in Buntung area. The place that we took is 200 packs. Okay, if anyone wants to come and join the seminar, especially Mataji or Polakangsa, if you think it's easy for you to come, maybe you can consider coming to Ipoh. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right. So there they're going to talk on the pastime of Devahuti and Kardaba Muni. All right. So how their instruction as a family and everything. All right. At the same time, on the 23rd, something like that. Okay, that's I think 21st or no. That's one day. You know, they're going to have a seminar in KL. Okay, if any one of you feels like you want to be a counselor, all right, to counsel the trouble family, you also can join the training, all right, in KL. Okay, so whichever it is, please do let me know. And all these trainings and the classes are free. Okay, so I really wish that all the devotees who are nearby, please come over. But in Ipoh, please must come there and see them personally. You will never believe because I'm telling you, he is my Bhakti Vaibhava teacher. He taught me Bhakti Vaibhava. He's such an expert. Hari Leela Prabhu. All right. Remember the story I used to tell about the peeling the potato? You know, I think I spoke about it many times. I peeled the potato. All right. It took you 8.4 million lifetime to peel the potato. That was told by him. Okay. Such a amazing devotee. These couples are amazing couple. All right. Don't miss the opportunity. Please come over. All right. So with that note, we will end the session here. All right. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Good night.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Have a
Hare
nice day.
Krishna.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Yes, yes.
all the dates, right? You post in the WhatsApp தானே?
எது?
இப்ப நீங்க சொன்னது events நீங்க
நான்
WhatsApp
போட்டுருக்கேன் குரூப்ல. You're not in the group.
இல்ல இப்ப இந்த நீங்க சொன்ன events நீங்க போஸ்ட் பண்ணுவீங்களா? Because நான் இப்பதான் வந்தேன், so எனக்கு அந்த events
already posted in the group.
ஆமாவா? Because earlier மெசேஜ் எல்லாம் கிடைக்காது எனக்கு.
இன்னைக்கு தான் நான் போட்டேன் எல்லாத்தையும்.
ஆமாவா? சரி நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன் சார்.
Wait, let me see whether you are in that group or not. காஞ்சனா முனுசாமி இது யாரு? Oh, this is
நான் காஞ்சனா நாராயண பிள்ளை.
இல்ல காஞ்சனா முனுசாமிங்க இருக்கு. I shared. அதான் நான் ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா அப்படில போட்டனே.
ஏனா earlier எனக்கு earlier மெசேஜ்லாம் கிடைக்காது.
Today introducing Hari Leela Prabhu and Divya Leela Mataji. போட்றேன் பார்க்கல?
சரி நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன். ஓகே.
info. நீங்க இன்னும் பார்க்கல. சரியா?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
Good night.
Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Good night.
Good night.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.